everybody. I had a little bit of trouble there getting this Facebook Live going. I guess that everybody is glad it's Friday afternoon. It's been a little lazy. Maybe Facebook wanted to be lazy too. Anyway, let me know when you're here so that I know who's here. I see you, Betty. I'm going to try to be better this time. Mary, I see you. I'm going to try to, Melissa, Mo, I see you. I'm going to try to be able to see, hey, Miss Patsy, I'm so glad you're able to be here. Hey, Mr. Harold, Uncle Harold Allen, there you are. I didn't get a lot of questions. I got a few. I got some questions that were private message to me that were not left either on the YouTube comment section or the Facebook comment section or the Instagram comment section. Hey, Kim Cork. So I am going to just answer those questions, but that won't take very long. And then I'm just going to answer some general questions. And then I'm going to do a little bit of behavior management training with you because I think it's time for that. I think we've got the basics down. Hey, Betty. We've got the basics down, and I think it's time to start building on the basics and start the behavior management kind of stuff. So let me answer some questions that I have been that has been posed to me. Hey, Miss Laura Jones. Hey, I miss you. And so that we can kind of get this ball rolling. Okay? All right. Thank you, Kim Cork. I think you're amazing too. One of the questions that was posed to me is, when is it appropriate to start taking things away, like the car keys, knives, guns? We're deep in the South, and there's a lot of folks that are hunters, have been hunters their entire life, and they have guns everywhere. Have a gun in a truck, they have shooting rifles, and it's difficult to know when someone can no longer manage that responsibility, because absolutely it is a responsibility. You have to be aware of your surroundings. There's what is happening there. Obviously, there's got to be a lot of insight, judgment, reasoning, all of those things that start to fail in somebody with dementia. Absolutely has to be taken into consideration when you're considering to let them have access to guns and knives, hunting equipment. You might want to transition to fishing. You can't get too and honestly, I say that in jest, but it's the truth. You might want to transition them to some other outdoor activity. Obviously, the person who asked this question, that person in her life is a big hunter, outdoorsman, and it might be that he needs to transition to something else that he can do with his hands. That is an outdoor activity. Fishing is that. Being outside, shelling peas or, doing, some things like that with his hands outside would be appropriate. But yeah, at some point, especially, I would say by the time they're in 3 or 4, and I did the video on the stages and put those, it's in the YouTube channel. And so definitely, review those stages with me on YouTube. And probably stage 3 for sure. By 4, they don't need to be handling any dangerous objects. Driving, knives, guns, those kinds of things. Now, that's a difficult situation, especially taking car keys away from a man is a hard road. Hey, Susan, I see you. That is a hard decision to make, and it is hard to execute, taking those keys away. What I suggest is replacing the keys with another set of car keys that don't go to anything you own. And that would be simple. Ask friends and family members, hey, do y'all have an old set of car keys that you could, that maybe we could cobble together a pair or something and put it on his old key ring, but have it there. A lot of times just knowing that those keys are in my pocket, that is enough. That's enough. Especially, by the time you're in, the end of 3, 4, and you are no longer safe with things. The reason you're not safe is because of planning and insight and things like that. So if you just give them a placeholder of something like, a toy gun or a fake set of car keys, they can't plan enough at that point, usually to be able to execute a whole plan of action. I'm going to get my keys, I'm going to crank the car, I'm going to put the car in drive, I'm going to go to the store. That's a lot of information for a dying brain, for someone who has dementia that has assaulted them in those areas. So usually it will placate them. Same thing about a billfold. Most men don't want to give up their billfolds. Most women do not want to give up their purses. And there's no reason that they have to. You just have to make substitutions so that, they have a few dollars in their billfold. They've got their purse with their lipstick and their powder and their billfold and some change and some dollars, so that they don't feel that they're totally stranded. Because that's a hard feeling. I mean, I don't know. I had a dream the other night that I went, we're about to fly to Houston to see my nephew who's graduating from the Marine Corps, from his basic training. Go Austin. And I had a dream, I guess I was thinking about that, and I had a dream that I had flown somewhere on an airplane, and when I got there, I didn't have a purse. I couldn't buy any money. I couldn't buy a ticket home. And it was a horrible, horrible feeling. So, you want to have them have something that they are in control of. They can't be in control of a gun. So that was the question that I had. When is it time to hide the guns, to lock everything up? And now's the time. I mean, if you are, if they're at home alone or something like that, and they're, in stage 3, stage 4, I would absolutely have the guns and things locked up. Let's see. I see Danny Hicks. I see Brenda McPherson. Hey, Brenda. How are you and all those grandbabies? Okay, so another question that I was asked that I get, that I have had experience with, a lot of experience with, is when mama or daddy, or, usually it's a parent, lives, hey, Vicky Faison, when somebody lives out of town with another family member, hey, Sarah Bailey, when mama or daddy lives out of town with another family member and you are somewhere else, how is that dynamic? How does that work? It's difficult, but it's not impossible. Nothing that we do is impossible. Not a thing. Not a thing that we do with dementia is impossible. Everything is possible. We just have to think about it. We have to think. We have to have what I call a positivity pivot, to not see it as a problem, but see it as a challenge that has a solution. Because everything has a solution. Everything. I have done this for over 20 years, as I have said, and I have not come across a problem that we have not been able to find a solution for. So, again, I may fail. The graphic I put up the other day about if plan A fails, you've got 25 other letters. Yeah, I've been to Q before, before I figured out something, but I've never gone all the way to Z. So, that's something good. So if your person is living out of state, out of town, and is being cared for primarily by another sibling, or maybe by your parent, and you're the daughter or the son, and you feel like that you don't have a lot of input, a lot of say, you don't have a vote in the matter sometimes, and that can be very disenfranchising, and it can make you feel like you're not doing anything, or you're not doing enough, or what you do matter. What you do say doesn't matter. And I understand that. I would encourage you to keep on keeping on. Just keep on making your comments. Keep on, making your suggestions. Get the information that you need, so that people have confidence in your knowledge, that you know what you're talking about. If you're the person that is living with the person, I'm about to lose my battery. If you're the person that is living with the person, and your daughter, your son, your sister, your brother is out of town and they call in, give them some love. Give them something to do. Say, yeah, this is hard, but you don't have to do it all on your own, and you don't have to ostracize the other people that really want to help you. So, sometimes you have a problem family member, and sometimes you are the problem family member. And you need to look at yourself. Again, I shake hands with the truth. And, I think you need to take a look at the relationship that you're having inside the family dynamic, and say, are we doing the best we can for mama? Are we doing the best we can for daddy? Or are we trying to have our ego involved and not listen to what anybody else? I'm the expert. I'm here in the middle of the night when she's awake, or he's awake, that kind of thing. I get that. I understand that. But two heads are always better than one. And I think that you need to, honor each person's contribution in the family. It makes things smoother. And everybody loves mama. Everybody loves daddy. Everybody loves sister. And they want the best for her. It's just that sometimes you think your best is the best, and your daddy is doing things all wrong. You know, just give each other some grace. Give each other some love. Talk about it. Talk about, hey, this is going on, and this is maybe, you know, what we need to do. Okay? I think I might be losing my my connection soon. I'm sorry, my phone is doing something. It's telling me something that I don't understand. But I'm going to talk until it goes off. So, let's get to some behavior management techniques. It's most important, again, I had said before, that you are the calmest person in the room. That whenever you're engaging in a behavior with somebody, let's say, let's have the scenario that daddy will not take a bath. Okay, because that's very, very common. And, you know, he no longer has insight into the fact that he's not had a bath for several days, maybe, that he has odor, their smell gets all discombobulated, their vision, their hearing, all of those things are managed in your brain, and so all of those things can get off kilter, you know. So let's say daddy won't take a bath, and he really, really needs a bath, and it's been several days, and you've done everything, and you've just let it lay, but today is the day that daddy's got to get a bath. Okay, first, get yourself centered, situated, know what you want to accomplish in the moment, because once you're in the moment, you need to be very, very, very clear with very short instructions on what's about to happen. Approach them always on their dominant side. Your dominant side is the hand you write with, so think of it that way. I'm right-handed. Most people are right-handed. There are some left-handed people. If your person is a lefty, you will know it by now. You know, you don't have to worry about that. Approach them on their dominant side, because they will visually attune to things on their dominant side quicker than on their non-dominant side. So if you come up around somebody, I always do this. I always, in the halls at the nursing home or whatever, I come by on people's right side and tell them I'm coming by, kind of announce my voice. You would do the same thing. If he's sitting in a chair, you would come and squat down at the chair, because you want to be in a subservient position so that he still feels like he has some power. And you would say, Daddy, it's time for your bath. Not, do you want to take a bath? Would you like me to run the water? Would you, whatever. In this moment, at this moment, right now, you know what needs to happen. A bath needs to happen, so that's what you need to present. Come around dominant side, squat down, subservient position, maybe hand under his hand. Again, so you're not reaching like this. That is a very aggressive motion. You are coming with your hands under and taking their hand in yours. Maybe put your hand then on top of his hand like this and say, Daddy, it's time for a bath. And he may right then go ahead and follow you to a bath. Or he may say, I already had a bath today. That's usually what happens. And you would just then say, I'm sorry, but I must have missed that when you got a bath. But I think it's time to take a bath, so let's go take a bath. Let's go take a bath. Take a bath. We are taking a bath. Keep saying those things over and over. So hopefully you'll be able to get him from a sitting position to a rising position and walking forward. So you walk forward into the bathroom. Always on his dominant side, always your hand under his hand, not pulling at him or tugging at him. You are beside him, arm around the shoulders, arm under the hand, kind of positioning. So you are leaving like that, okay? So once you get in the bathroom, hopefully you should have already had the towel set up, the soap, the bar of soap. Don't use liquid soap. Folks in this generation, they didn't have liquid soap when they were in their 30s or 40s. They had a bar of soap. So that's what you want to use for consistency and memory, because they may not remember that some kind of soap comes out of a shampoo bottle. They may think it's shampoo. Use a bar of soap. So, you know, you have the soap, you have the towel, you have maybe the water already run or something like that, and you can then encourage them to take a bath. If you are the person that is going to have to bathe them, Get a warm towel. Warm up a towel in the dryer and have that around their shoulders. Keep everything covered except what you are cleaning. They can sit in the bathtub. It's okay if that towel gets wet. They can sit on hopefully you have a stool or a bench or something that they can sit in, and you can keep everything covered up except for what you're bathing. If all this is covered up, you're washing their back, you're washing their hair, you're washing their face. Then you wash your legs. Then when you have to wash the torso, you would still put a bath towel around their shoulders so that they can keep, and you go under the towel and get up under the arms, things like that you do. That way you are honoring their modesty, you are honoring their privacy, but you're getting the job done. Sometimes folks absolutely just fight and will not get in the water. And you have to remember, you have a visual impairment because of the brain function, brain death. You have to remember that you can't see water. I've never thought about that myself until I read an article that came out about somebody using light, a shower head that had like a light on it, like a blue light, and that way you can kind of see the water, and that helped tremendously for their person. So that may be something that you could think of. So just, be totally aware of what their deficits are so that you don't sneak up on them, or the water's not too hot, the water's not too cold, something like that. Sometimes for women especially, you can give them a vinyl baby doll and have them bathe the baby while you're bathing them. That has worked in numerous situations. So, do we have any other questions here? I don't see any. Let's see. I see Jason Knight and Perry Hickman are watching, it says. So, hello. Drop a love button down if this is helping you so far. Just hit that love button. Let people know that, that I do this on Fridays at 2 o'clock. I had my graphics department make me a sign. Subscribe on YouTube. Please do. I have, I think, 10 subscribers now. Yeah, this is my art department right here. Straw sign. But please subscribe on YouTube to get these videos. Apparently, I have to have like 100 subscriptions before it even ranks in the algorithm of YouTube. So if somebody comes in there and absolutely looks me up, it's hard for my video to come up. My videos. I've done 3 videos this week. 5 guiding principles, 10 basics of dementia, and the 7 stages. Those videos are on YouTube now for you to watch, and I encourage you to watch those if you haven't already. Please tag somebody if you think that it's valuable and you think it would help somebody else. Please let them know that they can subscribe to the Facebook support group. They can subscribe, and that's just on Facebook, Dementia with Grace. Can subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to make sure I spend a lot of money on this. So I want to make sure it gets seen. Let people know that this is going on so that we can reach even more people. The more people that we have on board, the more experience, and they may be facing something that we have not faced before. So let them know that hey, we need your insight. Not only are we going to support you, and you can in turn support us, but you can learn from us and we can learn from you, because every dementia progresses differently in every person. So, an Alzheimer's and Daddy Bob may be totally different than Aunt Sally. But your person is more like Aunt Sally, so you need to know those experiences and what's happened with those. So, I'm going to try to continue to provide good value and answer the questions I think that need to be answered. We're going to have separate videos on every kind of behavior. So aggression will have its own behavior, its own behavior. It does, let me tell you, aggression does have its own behavior. So aggression would have its own video. Sundowning will have its own video. Refusing to take medicine, refusing care in general, wandering, shadowing, eloping, fighting, resisting, all of those things will have their own video. It will be a little short video on each one, and that's coming. Still working on the book, and the name of it's Dementia with Grace. What do you know? And so hopefully it is going to be published by the end of February, and it is specifically about managing a new positive way of managing difficult behaviors in people with dementia. So that's the subtitle. So I will teach you the GRACE method that I have come up with. Gather important details, remedies and routine, it gets its own thing, constantly assess, calm or excite. And those are the 5 letters of GRACE, and that GRACE in Dementia with Grace is an acronym for that. And it's some techniques and things that I have come up with over the years that have worked for me with the hundreds of people that have been in my care, either directly in my care or the people that I have been consulted to come see. So, you know, when I get on board, it's usually, you know, Katie, bar the door. It's usually something that's going on that, you know, that is somebody that they need a quote expert coming in there to do it. I tell you, everything I know can be taught. Everything I've learned was learned on the job, on the front lines, and it can absolutely be learned by you, and it can be practiced with success. I have a firm belief in that, and if I didn't, I wouldn't be spending my days creating these videos and writing this book and doing the things that I feel like will make a difference in your life and the lives of the people that you love. Okay, hey Sabrina, I see you. I see Tina Candy. It might be Mike, but I bet it's Tina. Y'all tell me anything you need to know. Interact with me. Tell me something you know, that you want to know, because I really don't. You know, I want to serve you. I want to be doing the things that. Let's see. One of the things that I get asked about a lot is Mama won't eat. You know, there's just, I cook everything I think she would like and she just won't eat. So let me tell you a trick. Sweet taste is the first taste we develop as children. And it's as a baby, breast milk is sweet. And it's the last taste that we lose. It's the last taste buds we lose. So sweet things will solve the day. And if you are wanting vegetables, and I mean, obviously you can't eat ice cream 3 times a day. I mean, you can, but then, you know, you can't. So sprinkle some sugar on the greens and the peas and the lasagna and the whatever else you're having, whatever else you think that they would enjoy. Make it a little sweet. I'm not talking about smother it in sugar, but just make it have a little sweet to the taste. Making an Ensure milkshake is a very, very good thing to use when somebody is not eating. Most folks will eat a milkshake, and you can absolutely use Ensure that has a lot of carbs and protein mixed with some frozen yogurt or some frozen ice cream, just a little bit of the ice cream. Make a milkshake out of it. You know, they'll eat that up. If they still have any ability to swallow and manage a bolus of food, they will absolutely, a bolus is a bite. They will absolutely love, 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 love a milkshake. Similarly, you can use ice cream, frozen yogurt, frozen, you know, popsicles, to get somebody to do something. Hey, Daddy, back to Daddy who won't take a bath. Hey, Daddy, let's go get a bath, and when you get out, we'll get a popsicle, or we'll get a hot chocolate, or we'll get, you know, something, a carrot. It maybe literally, but especially, I mean, figuratively, a carrot to get them to do whatever you are needing them to do. Let's see. Any questions? Hey, Betsy McDaniel. Hey, Benita Hamlin. I can see you. This will be also posted for the folks that are not watching it live. I will post it. It will be on my page, on my personal Vicky Noland Fitch page, but it will also be on the Dementia with Grace group. Patricia has a question. What do you do if the person with dementia lives alone and has been advised they need to be in a care home and won't leave their home? Oh boy, this is a big one. It's not impossible, again, but you just have to let them know if they have any reasoning at all. I start with the fact of, you know, you need more care than I can provide. Hey, Miss Francis, I love you. You need to just be square with them and say, you know, especially if they have any insight, and just say, I just so worry about you. I so worry about you. You know, you've left the stove on a couple of times, or, you know, you've wandered out in the middle of the night, and, you know, whatever has happened that has instigated that need to move, hey Miss Betsy, to move to a care home. You know, you let them know these are the things that have happened and I am worried. So why don't we try this? And usually, you know, if they have any reasoning left, they understand that, maybe deep down. And they're probably extremely angry about having to leave their home and lose their independence. And you are probably going to get the brunt of that anger. And, you know, I'm sorry, but you hurt the ones you love the most. I mean, again, shaking hands with the truth. That's just the truth. But just know that it is their disease talking. It's not them. You know, if they were reasonable and they were at a point where, you know, they, let's see, she's been told all these things and she just refuses. Well, then for her safety, you may just have to just do it and then deal with the fallout. And how you do with that, some homes will say, you know, give her a week or two, don't visit, come, you know, just let her get acclimated here and you don't visit for a couple of weeks. Some homes request that. I never did. I feel like, you know, that it doesn't really make a difference if you stay away 2 weeks or one day. They have lost their sense of time and they don't really know. I advocate visiting, and but maybe keeping a visit short. You know, you could visit every day, but don't visit for all day long, because they need to get acclimated to the activities of the place, to the way the routine is done, you know, all of those things. I wouldn't go first thing in the morning, or, you know, or at shift change, but I would go maybe middle of the morning, sit and spend a few minutes, you know, talking with them and talking about the positive things, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, if it comes to the point, I mean, you have to, at some point, you have to know that you're the one with the intact brain and the intact reasoning and insight, and you are the one that knows what's best for them. It's just like a child going to school. Now, let me say this: we always want to treat them with the absolute highest honor and respect. We are, you know, given differential to their not differential, there's another word I should have used there, but deference to their experience and their life story and their, you know, everything that they have accomplished in their life. So we don't treat them like a child. What I'm asking you to do is think, if this was a child, you know, your child maybe didn't want to go to kindergarten, but you knew that is what was going to happen. And so, you know, they may have kicked their feet and, you know, and squalled all the way to school, but once they got to school, it was okay. Especially after a week or two, everything just fell into routine, and it may have been a hell of a 2 weeks, but those 2 weeks had to transpire. That's the same exact way, the thinking that you need to take into a situation of having to place somebody in a home. You know it's the best thing for them. And if you've done your due diligence and you have researched the home and you have looked at all the, you know, we'll have a video on how to choose a home too. There's a lot to go into, and I will go into every bit of that. It's in my book, How to Choose a Home, Assisted Living or Skilled Nursing Facility. There are they get bad raps. They get bad raps in the news. You only ever hear about the abuse and neglect that happens in nursing homes. But let me tell you, I'm in and out of nursing homes all the time, and I see some good care. People who love people. I'm going to tell you, you cannot do that job if you don't love that job, because it weighs on your soul. It weighs on your soul. So the people that are there, that have been there, love it, and they do it because they love it, and they're going to take care of your person. So once you get in your mind that, hey, I've picked a good place, I'm comfortable, I'm confident that this is a good place, just take her, and, you know, and support her, pray for her, be there spiritually, physically for her, emotionally for her as she transitions. But the transition will happen, and they may end up loving it. You know, when they sit at home all day and they don't have any interaction with anybody else, that's a horrible situation to be in. But yet a lot of people sit all day long with no visitors, no interaction with anybody. And then they go to a care home and they've got people their own age that are in a dementia unit on their own medication. They're that same level, and they can interact with folks. Let's see. Oh, no, Benita, I couldn't see you. I could just see your name. Benita thought I could see her. I can't see you, Benita. I could just see your name. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing y'all's names. I can't see y'all yourselves. So if you're in your kitchen making a sandwich and you're watching me, I can't see you making a sandwich. I can just only see your name. That's precious. That's precious. Let's see. Yeah, so we talked about that. Anything else? Anything else anybody has to bring up that I can answer? I would love to. I've enjoyed doing these videos. I have not enjoyed the process of editing and uploading the videos. Whew, is that a learning curve? I mean a learning curve. And I'm not, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm not the dullest one either. And whew, it has worked my nerves this week. You're welcome, Patricia. You can private message me anytime. My Canada friend, she's from Canada, y'all. You can message me anytime. Private message me if you don't. Even if the private Facebook group is not private enough for you, private message me through Facebook, and it will absolutely come to me, and I can respond to those questions. So, any other questions? Any other questions? Somebody had a question about their person disrobing. That happens a lot in folks in the latter stages, especially 5 and 6. They start, everything feels very foreign. If they wear glasses, they will leave their glasses. They lose their glasses all the time because they don't want them. They don't want their hearing aids. They don't want their dentures. They don't want their clothes. It's just almost like, regressing backward to where, you were trying to get down to your birthday suit, what you were born in. Absolutely. It absolutely happens across the board, men and women both. The fix for that is to order them some clothes, or if you're a seamstress or have a seamstress nearby, you can have their clothes retrofitted where they would still have buttons on the front, but they would have a zipper up the back, and so she could sew the button placket down, and actually how you get into the clothes is get into them this way, and then you're zipped up the back. Or buttons on the back, or Velcro on the back, or something like that. If somebody is, the first thing you need to do though, if somebody's stripping off, is to make sure their environment is suitable to them. Are they too hot? Are they too cold? Are the clothes itchy? Is it the clothes don't have pockets, and I'm gonna tell you, they hoard everything, so they won't. You need either pockets or an apron with a big pocket for a woman, or some overalls and or coveralls with lots of pockets. Cargo pants with lots of pockets will make a tremendous difference for somebody who wants to hoard all their crackers, all the pens, the remote control, all of those things. They have to have somewhere to put their stuff. And it's very handy for you, because then they don't take the remote control and hide it. They have it in their pocket, so they won't lose it. So that night when they take off their clothes, you can get the remote control and put it back where it belongs. Buckandbuck.com, B-U-C-K and B-U-C-K.com is a clothing site. They offer all kinds of things, but they specifically offer clothing, adaptable clothing for folks with dementia. It's a resource that I have used for 20 years. And they make very good. Their things are maybe a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it because they address some problems. They have incontinence products. They have, all of those kinds of things that you might need. Hey, Tommy Russell, I see your name. I'm not going to say I see you anymore because I can't see people. I can see people's names. Hey, Donna Britt, I see your name too. Any questions, any comments? Hit the love button again just so I can see that you're there, because sometimes it feels like I'm just talking to myself here. In this situation, although I know that there are people out there listening, and I appreciate all the love this week since the last Facebook Friday Live. I've gotten lots of love and lots of good thoughts, and you're doing a good job and things like that, and I need that. I appreciate that. Hey, Brandy, I see you on there. I see your name on there. So let's see. We've gone through all the questions that I was asked. Hey, Kathy Bowers, I see you. I can see you. Are weighted quilts good for Alzheimer's patients? Yes. And Patricia Klassen, are you listening? Patricia is a friend of mine. She's my friend from Canada that I said, and she makes weighted blankets. She has a website, and I'm so sorry that I don't know, but I will link it in the comments. Or Patricia, you put it down there right now if you're still listening. You put that down there, how they can get a hold of you. Weighted blankets, for those that don't know, were used initially. Hey, Patricia, yay! They were used initially in folks with autism and sensory disorder situations where they like to have heavy blankets on them, heavy things. It calms them down. Yes, weighted blankets. And let me tell you, yes, absolutely. See Patricia for if you have that need. But until she can get you your soothing weighted blanket to you, you can use quilts and comforters and things like that. when I used to spend the night with my Granny Bonner in Reform, Riley Bonner from Reform, Alabama, she would put so many blankets on me at night that I could not turn over. I would have quilts and Afghans and things like that, and I still sleep like that because it made me feel so comforted. And, you know, there's a reason why a comforter is called a comforter, you know, because it's a comforter. It comforts you. But yes, weighted products are absolutely wonderful. And Miss Francis, I know that you quilt. Another thing that helps folks are fidget blankets, where you would make a little lap quilt, and you would have zippers and buttons and little things, the crinkly things that you could, you know, crinkle with your hands. It's a sensory thing that that helps with folks, especially in the late stages, end of 6, going into 7, where they're not really able to interact in a lot of ways, in conversational kind of ways, but they like, again, what babies like is a rattle. That is a that is a sensory mechanism. We just think, oh, well, babies just like rattles. They like rattles because it resonates with them in their mind and in their body. The weighted blankets do that same thing. It calms them down because you have a sense of pressure on your body. Patricia May could answer that actually even better. Patricia also ran a group home type memory care situation up in Canada, and so she's a good resource too, and she's on our group. So happy to have her. She helps me a lot, answer some questions and things like that. Okay, any other questions down here? Let me see if I can see anything. I hope the lighting's okay and all of that in this corner. I just do this in the corner of my den. My office is in my bedroom, in a corner of my bedroom, so I am just the corner girl in all the corners of my house doing things for y'all, and I love it. I really do love it. I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to pour some of my knowledge into you, and likewise you share your trials and tribulations with me so that I become a better dementia caregiver myself. I really, really appreciate that. Let me tell y'all a little bit of housekeeping stuff while we're here. If you are close and normally come to the support group down at Aliceville Manor on the 3rd Thursday, I'm not going to be there this time. I'll be back in February, but this month I'm going to see my nephew, Austin, who I just talked about. He lives in Houston, Texas, and we're all going out there. He became a Marine yesterday. He did the Crucible, and I tell everybody I see, I know everybody's so tired of hearing about my nephew, Austin, but I'm just super duper duper proud of him and so thrilled that he has decided to use his young life to serve our country. He's so patriotic, such a great guy. And we're going to be able to go see him in Thursday, in a couple of weeks. And so the Thursday, it falls on that 3rd Thursday of the month, so I will not be in place. But somebody will be there. I think probably Alden, who is the marketing person down at Aliceville. I think she'll probably have the talk. I will be back on board for the February time, and of course you can reach me every single day, even while I'm in Texas, because I'll have my iPhone. You can and I'll still have a Facebook Friday down there on the Friday that we're there. So y'all just be sure to be dropping me some questions, some comments, some concerns, you know, anything that I can help you with. Okay, thank you. The weight triggers, oh, I just missed it. But anyway, down below in the comments, Patricia answered that question for us, why the weighted blankets can help so much, because they absolutely can. And she's a wonderful resource to see about that. Hey, Barbara. Hi, Saul. I see you. I see your name on the thing. How are you doing? Did I miss you? All right. Any other questions? Hit the like. Oh, where did my button go? Hold on. Sorry, I had to dip down. I had to get my subscription things. There you are. Please subscribe. If I could have 25 people, you know what would make my heart happy? You know what would make my heart happy is to have 25 more subscribers by the end of the day today. If I had 100 new subscribers by the time that the sun went down, Lord, I don't know if I could contain myself. I would be so excited if I could get 100 YouTube subscribers to my channel. Go to YouTube, look up Dementia with Grace. I will put the link down below. If you follow me on Instagram, the link is in the bio of Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I am everywhere. I am all over the board. But YouTube, I would say the three best ways to interact with me are on YouTube, in the comments, on the Facebook group page, and then on Friday on Facebook Lives. If I were to get more and more questions, I would do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I just don't want to sit here and bore you if I'm not offering any value. So the more you interact with me, the more I can interact with you, and it be something that I know is needed and useful. And I definitely want to know that it's useful. Okay, I'll put my graphics department. I know that, I'm my graphics department. Okay. All right, and that's all I can think of. I don't want to just be talking to the air, so I will let y'all go. But again, I'm on Facebook all the time and answering questions and interacting with folks. I'm very responsive to that because I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it's very easy. It's, what a world we live in now. What a world we live in that we can, that I can sit in the corner of my, thank you, Patricia, that I can sit in the corner of my home and broadcast to around the nation, around internationally, really. I mean, what a world we live in. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be of service. I absolutely believe this is a calling on my life. And I hope that I help just one person. But I hope 100 people subscribe. Is that wrong? I don't want to be wrong. Okay. All right. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. I appreciate you spending your time with me on this Friday afternoon. I love every one of you. If I've never met you, I love you. Anybody that knows me, that has met me, know that I just have a belly full of joy, a belly full of love, and I just enjoy sharing my life and what I have learned with folks, with other folks, because I love folks with dementia, and we can absolutely make a difference in their lives. If you think that you don't know what you were put on earth to do, if you're in the life of somebody with dementia, you were put on earth to serve them. I believe that. And if dementia has graced your life in any way, and you have a person in your care or a person in your community, a person in your church, you can learn how to interact with that person so that they're not lonely at the end of their lives, but they're engaged, they're loved, they're connected with somebody else. So I appreciate if you're still watching at this point, that must describe you. So I thank you for your love and for your attention and affection and time. And I will see y'all next Friday. Okay? All right. Love y'all. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I don't know how to turn it off. Hello. Y'all can see my fingers. Finish.